Hello, this is Dr. V again, day 5 of the 7-day challenge of hope. I hope you're all doing okay and you've taken my advice and are less anxious and sleeping better and taking good care of yourself and contacting people who are in isolation. And today I would like to talk to you about what you can do in case you get bored at home. Now, I'm one of those essential workers, so I still go to work most of the time. I'm definitely not bored. I enjoy my time off at home. Actually, I've had an amazing weekend in the sun with my daughter in the backyard. We played basketball, we played baseball, we did art in the garden. I played with my cat, with my dog. So for me, being isolated is not a problem, but not everybody is that lucky to have a garden, and you're feeling stuck inside and outside is sunny. Now in the UK, people can still go for a walk or a cycle or a run, and a lot of my friends are actually getting super fit in this time of lockdown because they're running every day, they're doing push-ups every day, they're doing all kinds of physical challenges. So that's one thing you could do. If you're not fit enough to do that, you can still build up from, one push-up a day to how long this is gonna take. You could have been to 100 push-ups a day. If you do it for 100 days, you can achieve a lot in 90 days. So we don't know how long this is gonna last, but let's make the most out of this time that you're alone and at home. Maybe not alone, but at home. So one of the things that I do when I have time alone and at home is catch up with all these wonderful books I wanted to read. For instance, my dear friend Kate Emerson. I bought several of her books. This is not the only one, but this is one that I recommend because we now have time to clutter clear and put everything in bags ready for either dumping it or donating it when we can in a few months' time. So another thing that a few other books that I have ready to read, creative visualization, for instance. It helps you to have positive thoughts so that you can create your positive future. I want to talk to you about that on day 7, like how are we going to get out of lockdown and how are we going to move forward so we can make a plan in place and look forward to a positive future. Another book, if you now you have time to read a little bit more about finance, maybe that's something that you should have done and need to learn more about. How can you, it's also a good time to do your taxes because you have time now to do it, so you don't have to stress at the end of the year. Another thing I've been doing with my kids is when it was still cold and I was only home late at night, we play card games and we play all kinds of other board games like Dungeons and Dragons, Twister, Cluedo, there's lots of things you can do. And of course, there's amazing family movies to watch on TV also. And like lots of you, it's time to start cooking. What I found was that often my usual vegetables were not available in the shops, so I just took whatever I could find. So I've learned to cook with vegetables that I never cooked before. And I'm now really good at it. And I'm making delicious meals every day that before I was forced to think outside the box, I wasn't doing because I just made same old because my children are small and they like eating the same stuff every week. So, but now I've been experimenting in the kitchen. So that is another positive thing that you can do when you're in lockdown so that you don't become too bored. So what have we discussed? All forms of exercise that you can still do. You can really get buff and fit if you want to. You can catch up with reading. You can play board games if you're not alone. And there's an amazing list of videos and music that you can listen to. Actually, on Spotify, I have a list that's called Positive Music to Wake Up To. I recommend you check it out. It's all very happy tunes. And then you can just, dance in your kitchen or wherever you are. Nobody's watching because nobody's watching. True? Let me know if there's any other tips that you can recommend on people, like what you can do so you don't feel too bored while you are isolating and not ill. I feel very sorry for the people who are isolated because they are ill, of course. Let me give them some tips too. So if you get infected with the coronavirus and you feel out of breath, and you feel like you have a fever, you're feeling very unwell and tired, which are the typical symptoms, and you want to lie in your bed, it is good to take paracetamol to lower your pressure, especially once it's like more than 38 degrees. But try and keep your lungs moving. That's advice from a lung specialist that I have read about, is that if you get this viral pneumonia, you feel like it's too sore to move your lungs or to expand your lungs, but that is not good for your lungs. So they recommend like lifting your arms over your shoulder and trying breathing in as deep as you can regularly, and sitting up and walking around to keep your cardiovascular system going, so that the virus like gets a challenge. And it's not that easy then if there's a lot of movement, so that you don't get stuck with scar tissue in your lungs after this infection. So yeah, I thought that was useful to throw that in there. This was day 5. Tomorrow I want to talk about, in case you have problems with your relationships because you're sitting so close together for so long, how to communicate with your kids, with your partner. This might be a nice time for some healing and some truth speaking in a kind way. I will talk about that tomorrow. And then I also want to give you the best tips on how to boost your immune system on day 7. And that's it for me. See you next time, tomorrow, same time.